Hello, everybody. We're here at Stevens Magic, and we have a guest from Missouri, Michael Nelson. We've worked with him before. This is estates. As you know, we're having more and more estates, and Michael was one of probably the first guys that we started working with. And when we get estate items in, we get all types of boxes. Some of them are a mess. Some of them you got a box here and the ball's in the other box. But not with this guy. This guy is meticulous. He's your dream type of person if you want to do with estates. Everything is meticulously taken care of. He's got photos, the instructions. It's the right way to do it. So it makes our job a lot easier. But what's interesting about Michael is his, I wouldn't say, would you say mentor? Would you say advisor?
Well, when I started to get into serious collecting, I think Mel Babcock was a huge influence. So I would say serious collecting.
Yeah, the difference between like what you would call what's it called, a novice, or somebody that's just interested into actually collecting magic, a hobbyist instead of a hobbyist.
Right.
You got into,
yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it.
Mel Babcock, if you don't know, I mean, you probably do, is one of the most humble people in magic. He's Washington, right?
Yeah. Great craftsman. He has a farm there. He uses the wood from the fruit trees on his farm to make his effects, and an old school craftsman. Great guy. One of the great people in magic.
Definitely. In fact, I remember years ago he used to send us a case of apples from Washington.
Yeah.
And it's big every year without fail. And humble and great, like you said, old times craftsman, and still doing great. Do you have the book on him?
Yeah, the book I just collected. He sent me some old flyers from when he performed, and then he signed a picture for me, thanking me for buying his stuff and using some of his stuff.
Personal touch.
Yeah, and some of the other old school pamphlets back when he was performing full time. So it is fantastic because his stuff, the craftsmanship, is just excellent, and I love woodworking, and then you see it manifest itself in the magic, and it's just incredible.
True. And when you mention the way he grows, he puts it together. I mean, that's about as organic as you can get. Your own trees, on your own apple trees, and you make it. And it's just wow. I think my father Joe referred to him as the modern day Thayer. That's what he always got a chuckle whenever we would see him. The last time I saw Mel was in Portland at Stan Cramian's Jamboree. It was a short little drive for him because Washington's just the state over. And he would come and show his wares, and just a great guy, phenomenal. But anyways, so we have some, this is, I think, third installment we've done for you.
This is Nelson Estate 3.0, I guess,
yeah,
using the modern phraseology, I suppose. So.
And these pieces are some of them, and one of them that I wanted to highlight is that I looked at this and I honestly didn't know, I'm not an expert, but I didn't know who the maker was. And if you would just elaborate a little bit on that piece.
Yeah, this is a card appearance frame from Mr. Babcock. He uses the decals and then does some painting on it. And a lot of his stuff, he doesn't have a lot of painted stuff. So when I saw this, or when I talked to him and he told me about it, because I don't think he ever advertised this on his site. So I grabbed this as soon as he told me about it. It's, again, very well crafted, meticulous, and whether it's his just straight woodworking or his painted stuff, it's excellent. So
yeah, you're right, Michael, because I think he made some painted die boxes. And in fact, my father has one with Mickey Mouse, but he could never sell it.
Yeah,
because of the royalties. But it was something he always wanted. It's at the house. So I forgot he does get into some decals. I'm used to, when I think Mel Babcock, I think wood.
Yes.
The first thing that comes to my mind is the die box, because that's probably his number one item.
Right.
He made three sizes and different woods, and then the rainbow die box. You told me a story about my father that I didn't even know.
Well, whenever I ordered stuff from Mel, I would always call him up, and just a brief discussion turned into a long story and anecdotes and different other things. But Mr. Babcock always talked about your dad and how great it was doing business with Stevens Magic, the integrity of Joe Stevens, and then how that legacy has been passed down to you. So, when I started thinking about selling my estate stuff, and I was unsure, I thought, well, there's no better endorsement than Mel Babcock.
Yeah,
so
that's good to hear.
I came here, and I'm so glad I did. But one of the anecdotes that he relayed to me was that some of his first die boxes that he was making for your dad, I don't remember what he called it, but he brought it to your dad, and your dad saw the effect, and he said, "No, you got to get rid of that name. You've got to call it the Rainbow Die Box."
I remember that box.
And then the Rainbow Die Box stuck, and it became one of his iconic pieces. So.
It is. It's gorgeous, multicolored. We have some in the crypt, and there a guy is it a guy that is dying to get it. He's making payments on it because he's got to have it that bad. But I just wanted to thank you, Michael, for choosing us, and you have been a joy to work with, and I hope to continue to work with you. He has more magic, because for those of you that think he's getting out, no, that's not the case. Once a magician, always. So, in fact, you just recently bought something from Thomas Pohl, and he's got some other pieces, so he's still a magician, tried and true. And he drove all the way down here, so we just want to let you introduce him, or try to introduce him to you, and look for his products coming up soon on the website.
And thank you, Mark, for everything.
Absolutely.
I certainly appreciate it. And thank you, Shannon.
Shannon's the best.